Hello everyone, and welcome back to Jesse Hecht Creative. Today we're going over the Figma Metroid Dread Samus Aran from Good Smile. Before we begin, make sure to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button. Now let's get to it. Here is the box of the Good Smile Company Figma Metroid Dread Samus Aran Dread version, official product by Nintendo. Yay! 15 years, I'm guessing, of Figma. That's really proud for them. On one side, we have Metroid Dread Samus Aran Dread version by Good Smile and Figma over here. On the other side, we have a glorious picture of Samus in a cool pose, Samus Aran Dread version by Figma. On the top, we have a Figma Max Factory X Masaki Apsi action figure series. That's a mouthful for me. And on the bottom, we have a barcode that is for this, I guess. And now we slide this open to reveal the interior, looking really cool over there. Product number 583, Samus Aran Dread version by Figma from Metroid Dread. Cool picture of Samus in the box, as well as Good Smile Company. 15 years, I guess. We also have a different pose of Samus on the other side over here. Samus Aran Dread version, Figma. On the top, we have a picture of Samus loading her Omega Cannon. And on the bottom, we have the same thing, but with a barcode. To note, the side we've already seen, and the back is of the same image we've seen before. And here's all the stuff inside with a Figma baggie, as well as an instruction booklet and all the pieces within. Taking a look at Samus's helmet, it's really ovular in this iteration. Very long in a way. Not really that stout or even lean. It's kind of big and thick. The visor looks super cool with my lighting, at least. I like these little pipes over here too. And the sides are really cool, but it reminds me a lot of her gunship. You get back pretty okay, forward alright over there, a little bit of pivot over here, and some alright swivel. It's hindered by something, I'm not sure what, but it does look nice overall at least. But what's cool about the neck articulation is that it actually isn't a straight peg or anything. It's two balls on a hook. Kind of weird. Just place this back in over here with the pointy side up, and then place the ball back into the socket down there, and just push it in, and it should go in nicely and work out pretty well for this figure. The design of Samus's body is not my favorite. I do not like all these sinewy pieces going all the way around the body. I know her suit is re-healing itself after a previous mission, but even then, I'm not sure I like it that much. This is not on Figma, who has captured this perfectly, though. It all looks accurate to the game. I just find this design to not be my favorite. But I gotta say, the shininess is pretty cool on this. These shoulder pads are really nice with this piece over here. Her arm cannon is phenomenal. I wish there were more colors that represented different beams and stuff, and we do get a fist over here as well for her hand. Her jet boosters over here that don't have ports, but I wish they did. But there is a port back here hidden amongst these little black circles that represent, I think, her spine or something. I'm not sure. That's really weird on that, but it is nicely done, even if it is weirdly proportioned for me. And the articulation is insane on this. Her arm can go up really far and down. It can even sort of jut in and out a little bit. This moves up and down a little bit. She has a butterfly joint that's kind of difficult to move, more like a shoulder joint, as I've seen in the Marvel Legends Hulk figures, going out rather than back that much. But this inner joint here does accommodate to move back. Even the shoulder pads have good rotation and movement. They can swivel out and then move up and down as well, fitting well around the arm. You can swivel this up here a little bit, even though you don't really need to, and move the arm up this far, kind of 90 degrees, a little bit on that front, swivel down here a tiny bit, and nothing at the arm cannon itself. There is a port here, though, you could put things into. On the other side, you can swivel this as well, move the arm up this far over here, and rotate and then hinge the fist back and forth, up and down. I like this over here too, even this as well. She also has a swivel at the torso, up and down, back and forth. It does extend down here as well, with a swivel down here a little bit, and then back and forth. It kind of works in conjunction with each other, so move them together and it should work very well. It's hard to move the bottom portion on its own, enough as it is. The coloration is nice on the figure. I'm not a fan of the actual sinuiness, but I gotta say, this is a wonderfully done articulation scheme for this figure. And on a lot of action figures, I do say that the legs are the most boring part, but here they're actually kind of interesting. The sinewy pieces really go down and act like muscle in a way. Her calves are outlined with this white over here, and her boots have these cool little green parts on them that are nice. They are too squat for me. I don't like these boots. They're kind of like that. They're kind of weird. We'll get to that in a little bit for articulation. But as far as as that goes, she does have drop-down hips for both of these to get a wide range of motion up and back. It does crash into this, so be very careful, though. She does have a swivel up here as well, the double jointed knee going on this side over there. There is also a hidden swivel right above the knee here, foot swivel down here, and down this far, not that great for me. Up this far, pretty good. It's hindered by whatever this is over here. Kind of a shame, and this thing too. It's really strange. And she also has toe articulation, but it's very minimal, and I don't really like to use it that much as it kind of messes with the balance of the figure, whose foot is already too small. All in all, there are some weird choices made with this Samus figure. I find her to be very well done as far as accuracy goes. With sculpt is really great too, but I think it does hinder it in some ways when adhering to that accuracy. And we're going to see how accurate she is with the accessories right after this. Hello everyone, and thank you so much for watching so far. Make sure to click like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and hit the bell icon for more creativity. Now let's get back to it. In addition to the fist she comes with, she also comes with a grabbing hand that looks very nice over here with a swivel and then hinge, working out really well for this. It's really nice. She also comes with a flat palm fingers out hand that works incredibly well, and I love this one. It's so expressive and detailed with great articulation as well. Interesting to note, her hands do come with some stop gaps, so they won't change shape or size over time. And she also comes with one extra wrist piece just in case, but I wish she came with one more than this so we don't need those stop gaps. On the other hand, or arm cannon as it may be, Samus comes with this Omega cannon that's really cool, and I love seeing this. This is a phenomenal accessory, although I do have a few gripes about it. There isn't any articulation here. If it breaks, yeah, that's on you. I wish it had some kind of articulation so it could close or open or be a little better for this, because it's a huge piece. It's kind of clunky and big before you put it on her. Don't get me wrong, it looks nice. I like the color. I like the exhaust port thing back here too. The blue on the inside is nice, and you can tell it looks like something is actually brewing inside there, and then coming out to this blue beam is really special. Man, I wish she just had more interchangeable arm cannons, kind of like this one. It's just great. And her articulation doesn't suffer either. I think it's actually better than the actual arm cannon, so yeah, this has really good articulation on it, and it looks very nice too. And as far as kit bashing goes, while it is difficult to set up in this fashion, you can place the end of the Street Fighter Jada Toys Ryu figure accessory into the barrel of the Omega Cannon and watch it fly. It isn't as large or as big as the Omega Cannon from the games, but I think this is a worthy substitute. An issue when moving this figure and placing the weapons in and out of the arms is the arm actually coming off. Place it back in, but really this shouldn't be happening. It's kind of annoying. And once again, Samus does have a stopper at the end of the Omega Cannon that I'm using right now for the power beam while the Omega Cannon is in use. It's very useful. And if you're a little patient with getting the arms off, you can give her double cannons, and this is really cool but very impractical. Samus's morph ball form is always nice to get, but this one's weird again. Those sinewy things are strange. The green is nice though. The red is kind of pink in a way, and the white is so-so. I do like the green though going through the entire thing, and there is a port for the stand we'll see a little bit on. I do like the connection between her shoulders and this piece over here, so that's always cool to see some connection between that. Knowing my aversion to Figma stands, it's kind of hard for me to do this, but I place it just enough in so it can gain traction. There is a history of Figma stands breaking off and going into the figure, which I do not want to see for this. You can twist this a little bit, and it does come off, and I'll let it just be for that. There is also an attachment you can place on the stand on the top. It can swivel around pretty well and looks nice. I think it's for Samus. Let's check it out. You can place it into the hidden port back here, but I really don't want to. I like the shape of this, and I don't want to mess it up with this piece over here. But going to the stand, it's nice. I don't have the bottom. This is from a different figure, an actual other Samus figure, at least from other M. It works right for this, but I cannot find the initial bottom to this stand. It's really weird. I hope I didn't get gypped or something. The stand does move up and down at this point over here, up and down at this point over here, and up and down at this point down here, and it does swivel and works well enough even if I don't have the actual bottom from this figure. The successor to the spider ball, the spider magnet, comes in the form of this blue plate. It is usually found on a wall and looks pretty nice. I like these sort of grooves over here here, and also the rounded portions look really good. But we come to a hand for Samus and a foot for Samus that we'll see used in just a sec. Going by an image on the instruction booklet, you actually can have Samus do this pretty well. Just place her foot into this peg right over here, like so. Will kind of feel strange though, and I hope I don't break anything while doing this. Moving the peg down for her drop down hips into a position she can place her hand into this arm. I don't know why this arm piece and hand piece and foot piece aren't articulated as well as they should be, but if you peg everything in pretty much as you can and push that in, I don't think there's a pop or anything. It just stays and sticks. You can get Samus to really get in a good move to use her arm cannon as she's holding on to this wall. But the best part about this whole thing comes in with this. Hello everyone, and thank you so much for watching so far. Make sure to click like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and hit the bell icon for more creativity. Now let's get back to it. The only place with a good enough magnet to store Samus here on this spider wall is the refrigerator in my garage next to the boiler over there. It looks really cool actually, this shot, if you frame it in this kind of way. It's very nicely done, and the magnet's pretty strong, so it'll hold well. If you put her lower on this specific fridge, she does start to like fall and collapse a little bit at will, but if you put her up a little higher on the fridge, she works fine. She deserves top shelf on the fridge anyways. And even though I won't use this all that much, it's still really cool to see. And while I've never done this in-game, here is Samus with the Omega Canyon on the spider wall. Just thought it'd be pretty cool to see, at least. And here she is gaining better purchase with her foot aiming upside down. I don't know, I thought it'd be cool to shoot this. And after removing her hand and foot, it's easy to peg them back in like so. Super simple and really nicely done. The Figma Metroid Dread Samus Aran stands at about 5 3/4 inches tall, almost 6 inches tall, and the spider wall stands at about 2.5 inches tall, just above that, and the morph ball stands at about, I would say, 1.5, 1.25 inches taller. So here is the Dread Samus Figma next to the other M Samus Figma and the Prime 3 Corruption Samus Figma. While I do think personally Prime 3 is the best overall, other M wins with accessories having beam attachments, and Dread wins with articulation. And while you can't really do this with the other M version, you can place the Prime 3 arm cannon onto the Dread version, and it looks so cool. A really nice detail aside from this little piece over here, but it does match pretty well and looks very intimidating. I kind of like it now. It's really neat. And the opposite rings true as well. Using Samus's cannon from Dread on Samus from Prime gives it a more Chozo tech feel, I think. I kind of like it a lot. And while the Omega cannon doesn't really match up that well color-wise with Prime 3 Samus, it looks really good on her, and Omega Ridley better watch out. Here is the Figma Dread Samus next to the Figma Other M Zero Suit Samus and the Figma Fire Emblem Lucina. They look pretty much in scale, and no, you can't switch these heads. They're incompatible. One's a peg, the other's a ball. Just doesn't work. Here is the Figma Dread Samus next to the Figma Splatoon Girls. They look nice together, although maybe we'll see them in a new Smash, maybe not. Here is the Figma Dread Samus next to the Figma Pit from Kid Icarus and the Figma Pokemon Trainer Red from Pokemon. They look pretty much in scale, seeing as Samus is super tall and these guys are super short. And here is the Figma Dread Samus next to the Jack-specific Samus from Prime 2, as well as the Infant Metroid with the squishy top and the Larval Metroid with the non-squishy top as well. And while you can't really pair the Jack-specific Samus over here with the Figma Dread Samus, you can pair these Metroids with her. And I gotta say, it's pretty cool having 3 Metroids in the same shot. Overall, do not dread this Metroid. As much as I love the other M and Prime 3 Samus figures, I have a certain respect for the Dread Samus figure. Even if I'm not as big a fan of the proportions or suit style, I do appreciate pieces of this. The arm cannon's really great, the shoulders are awesome, and the sleek white looks good on her. The accessories are what I really like too. The Omega Cannon's great, and that wall mount is awesome. There could be more hands, but I understand. It takes a lot of plastic and engineering to make a figure like this with these amount of accessories. And while I do think the articulation is stellar for this figure, it is a little bit over-articulated. I appreciate the amount of it, but it kind of gets in the way of the figure's aesthetic at times. I am glad this Dread Samus scales well with a lot of other figures, and it'll work well in different displays with Smash Bros. At least, especially with the Jack-specific Metroids. If you're a fan of Metroid, Samus, or Smash Bros. Or Metroid Dread, then you'll love this figure. She's really great. Even if I personally think the other M and Prime 3 Samuses are better, this one has some great articulation with some awesome accessories. But make no mistake, next week's review is gonna... So which Figma Samus is your favorite? Other M, Prime 3, Zero Suit, or Dread? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching Jesse Hecht Creative. Make sure to click like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. You can also visit us at jessehechtcreative.com for more reviews like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and keep being creative. Stay tuned.